thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for sitting on a plane for
We
3
got
hours
in
on the
at midnight
tarmac.
last night.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for doing that.
it's being bright and breezy at the minute.
So Morgana, how evil will she be this season? Even more evil?
Perfectly.
Perfectly.
Evil. I mean, evil's a point of view. I'm not sure I think of her as evil. I think of her as brilliant. Yeah, she's a bad girl. I mean, who doesn't want, you want to be a good girl, you want to be a bad girl. Which do you prefer? Everybody loves a bad girl. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to play.
Exactly. I mean, you think about it. She's spent so many years. I mean, everybody knows where she's going to go. I think everybody's been waiting for her to get to that point, and the way they've done it is very clever. She's, I think you'll find her quite sympathetic. But by the time we get to see, are we talking about season 4 here or season 3? 4. Season 4, yeah. By the time we get to season 4, I think you'll all be really, you'll really enjoy her. Because she's enjoying it.
Where is she going to be living? Where is she staying? What is she doing?
Well, obviously, so a year has passed, so obviously she's no longer in Camelot, because that would be difficult, seeing as how she, took the throne.
Yeah, is she with her sister now?
I can tell you that Morgause is back.
Okay.
Yes, we have the brilliant duo that is the Evil Sisters. They are back. Basically, Morgana, it feels like for the last few years, in a way, she's been playing a role. She's been playing the part that she thinks she should. The perfect princess. The nice gowns, the well-behaved, and finally now, in season 3, where she started to see the other side of her, and now in season 4, I feel like she finally is being herself. She's finally embraced what it is that she should be, and she's sort of she's a more earthy, she's sort of back to nature, she's embraced her magical side, and where she's living and how she looks and everything all reflects this sort of new acceptance of who she is. She has finally truly accepted all that it is about her and all that it means to be magical, and she's on a mission.
Now, her clothes have always reflected her as well. Can you tell us about your costumes this season?
I like to describe her as a goth Jessica Rabbit.
Will she be as
subtle.
Will she be as extravagantly dressed, or now that she's not in the palace anymore?
No, because she doesn't need to be. She's no longer the first lady of Camelot. So I think her image is going to reflect that. I mean, you can see it on the posters. She is a little. Well, I mean, she's dressed in black. She's obviously evil. Obviously, there's no denying that. But I think now her clothes, I think in a way, for Morgana in the other seasons, were a distraction for her, where she didn't have anything else to do. It was about how she looked. It was about the part that she was playing and who she thought she had to be. And now she's not like that so much. Her clothes are now going to reflect that again. But yeah, goth Jessica Rabbit seems to cover it. It's subtle, guys. It's real subtle.
There's a lack of men in her life. I mean, she was sort of embracing a small romance when she was in a certain path she wanted to be on, but now she's self-determined and empowered with what she wants. Isn't she seeking a man in her life?
But why does she need one?
She doesn't need one, but it could be fun.
No, it could be fun, and I think I used to sort of joke about the time about Morgana needs a man, but at the end of the day, the real romance of Merlin and the real romance of the Arthurian legend is Arthur and Lancelot, and anything else really does take a second seat to that. It would never be as important, and it would never be as much of an impact of that romance that you know. And I think at the minute now, with Morgana being where she is on a mission. She is absolutely single-minded in what she has to do, and I honestly think a man would fit in. I mean, at the end of the day, we only have a certain amount of minutes in an hour to do, and I think it would take away from the storyline. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't love the producers to cast a very hot man for me to work with, but that's purely for Katie's enjoyment rather than for Morgana.
Now, in her relationship with Morgause, is she going to take the more dominant lead now?
I think if you think back to sort of series 3 with the dragon sort of talking to Merlin and saying that, she is the darkness to your light, she is the other side, she is going to be the foil to Merlin. She is going to be as powerful as Merlin, which stands to reason that she will become more powerful than her sister. So for her to be truly a villain, she must actually be a proper threat to Merlin, which means she's going to have to be as powerful as him, which is great for me. I'm like, yes! But, so I think she does end up being one of the most powerful magical creatures within the kingdom. And damn right she should be.
Did you go back and watch Excalibur and Sword and Stone?
I love Sword in the Stone. Love Sword in the Stone. Excalibur, I think that might have been one of those ones that you had to watch as a child, because when I went back to watch it, I was like, okay, this is going to be great. It's got Helen Mirren in it. She won an Oscar. This is good. And I kept watching. I was like, why is he in a giant shiny suit? Don't understand. What's Merlin wearing on his head? And what's with the hair? I couldn't. I was like, it looked beautiful, but I think it was one of those ones that you had to love as a child. Because when I watched it as an adult, I just didn't quite get it. But I did watch a lot of, I read more than I watched. I read a lot of the books, and I read more for my own enjoyment, because Morgana was so well crafted on the page, and this was their telling of the story. And rather than look at what other people had done, I wanted to make sure that I got what they were telling right.
This is an Avalon, I'm sure you.
Of course. But more than that, I read these things because Morgana's a character that people adore, and a lot of women really identify with her. And there's very few very strong female roles out there, and a lot of women really do. She's very important to them. So for me, it was important to be familiar with all these things so that I could talk about it intelligently. So I did read them for my own enjoyment, but less for the actual role of her, because she was so brilliantly put on the page. They did a really good job. So I didn't even...
Now, she did have feelings of friendship. She was almost like part of the group at one time. And of course, now she's antagonist. You know, she's on the opposite side. Is all of that gone from her into the hatred, or does she sometimes have regrets, do you think, or any softer feelings towards any of them?
I think she's so consumed with anger right now. I think she's so consumed with what she's gone through. I always sort of, give Colin a hard time and say, if only you'd helped me. If only when I went to you, you would have helped me. I was desperately begging. Morgana begged Merlin for help, not knowing obviously that he was magical. And Merlin had Gaius, so he had somebody to guide him. And had Merlin turned around to Morgana and said, "It's okay, I'm the same," I think she wouldn't have gone down the path that she did. And if you think about it, she's on her own, and the one person who comes to her and says, it's okay to be you, and not only is it okay to be you, but I love you for it, is Morgause. So why won't she go that way? And in Morgana's head, she's been denied by Gwen betrayed her. She went over to the other side. Merlin betrayed her. Arthur's betrayed her. Uther denied her to her face, his own child. She's running on complete anger, and in her head, they've all betrayed her except for Morgause. So, she's with the people she thinks loves her.
So who is she going to have the most interaction with this season?
We have a few new characters.
Oh. Anything you can tell us about?
No. No. The great thing
Would
about
it be one of those new characters then?
is one of the new characters, yeah. I mean, the great thing about Merlin is, yes, Morgana is out of Camelot. Yes, she is, a dark, evil Darth Vader presence. This is true. But where's the fun in that if she doesn't get to interact with all the characters again? They are so clever on the show the way they do it. They're so clever with the storylines and how they bring people in and out. So yes, she's out of Camelot, but yes, she will still interact with everyone. So, Merlin will give you what you want, but never the way you expect it. So, even if you know the legends back to front, inside out, Lancelot isn't the way you expect him to be. You don't get Excalibur like you think. You don't even get Guinevere like you think. So, even if you love the legends, you can enjoy Merlin. If you know nothing about it,
will she be interacting with Uther at all this season?
That's it. She interacts with all the characters, but in a very weird, strange way that you're not going to expect.
So is Morgana going to find out about Merlin's magic?
I don't think anybody ever finds out about Merlin's magic.
Not for quite a while.
Not for
Not
quite
for
a while.
okay.
No. And I think
I wondered if she suspected, though.
I think she suspects there's something different about him. And not only that she suspects something that's different about him, if you think back, Morgause suspected it. And so obviously she would have talked to Morgana about it. So I think she does suspect that there's this sort of, he's a serving boy. And yet he keeps cropping up everywhere. And he keeps, he's very loyal to Arthur. And I think that does niggle at her. But I think she suffers from the fact that she's so powerful that she can't believe that anybody else is as powerful. She's kind of a bit, self-absorbed in that way. She's a bit, and I think part of the fun is the fact that nobody knows that Merlin has magic, and I think that really makes their relationship between her and Morgana much more interesting, because she believes she holds all the cards, but you all know she doesn't. So visually it's more fun to watch.
Are we going to start seeing a fraction between the two sisters? Because as Morgana gets more powerful, Morgause might start feeling jealous about that. How could you possibly be more powerful than me? I was training you.
This is true. You're just so going to have to watch the first 2 episodes before I say anything. So it is. The sisterly bond is not broken, and it is never broken, which is nice because for Morgana that is the most important relationship that she has. And if that was taken away from her, I'm not quite sure what she would do. She'd be without a captain. She'd be oarless. She needs something to keep her going. But as it is, she's on her mission. She's on her plan, and she is going to rule Camelot again in her head. Because God, she looked good with the crown. Do you know what I mean? Come on.
She did.
There we go. Better than Bradley would ever look like. Better than Angel would ever look like. I don't have to say that,
It's not on video or anything.
They're not going to see this now. Oh, God. And there goes an executive producer around the back. He's going to kill me.
Colin's not here.
What
He's
about,
not here.
what about Morgana? Because that's, back to the real legend.
Exactly. I mean, he's a big part of the legend. So, I mean, he hasn't appeared yet so far, but it stands to reason at some point they can't tell the story if he doesn't come back. So it stands to reason that at some point he will. So far, I haven't seen a script that he is in it, but you cannot tell the Arthurian legend without him. Asa's probably slightly busy now with Martin Scorsese doing Hugo Cabaret, but we'll get him back eventually.
Well, I mean, they actually were kind of, both responsible for the downfall.
If you all think about it now, in all fairness, Morgana ends up being the good guy. She saves him. She brings him off to the Isle of the Blessed and heals his wounds. So really, I am kind of like Darth Vader. I start out good, I go bad, but I ultimately come good in the end. So I'm kind of a hero. It's funny. You all laugh, but it's so true.
So many women love this character, even though she is the bad guy.
Yes. It's not bad
Queen of the
guy.
misunderstood.
Exactly.
And everyone's rooting for her.
You think so? You all wanted to get... Thank you very much. But yeah, you cannot tell the Arthurian legend without Mordred, so it stands to reason at some point he will come back. When it is, I don't know. You'll have to corner one of those men over there and ask them. But I think you're right. I think for Morgana's story to be told properly, Mordred has to come into it. So hopefully maybe they'll age him up and he'll be really good looking. There you go.
Is Morgana going to have any happiness this season?
I don't know if it's funny.
Because you talked about her anger. So
Yeah, she's not. It's weird. It's not an emotion I ever think of when I find she gets to play pleased, she gets to play satisfied, but I don't think she's happy. I think she's got too many things that she feels that she has to achieve in order to. So I think, but I don't think Morgana was ever really happy. You know what I mean? You look back at all the seasons, I think she was very conflicted. I don't think she's ever been sort of happy and carefree. And, I think that's Guinevere. Guinevere is very light and sort of easygoing, and I think that's her role. I think Morgana's always been conflicted, and I think, honestly, even if Morgana got what it was that she was ending up, she wouldn't be happy. Because I think really what she wanted was to be accepted by everyone and be accepted for who she is, and I don't think that'll ever happen. So, she would be really sad now.
Do you think Morgana feels any love for Arthur, and if so, does she ever display it this season?
I think it's.
Where you
I
see
think,
your conflict?
I think that one's the difficult one for her because at the end of the day, the only person that never really denied Morgana anything was Arthur. Anytime she needed anything, it went to him. He always helped her. But I think in her head, she sees him as very much as Uther's son, and I think she sees him as the ruler that Uther would be. Because at this point, it's not clear to her that he is going to be accepting of magic. It's clear to her that he would do what his father would say. So in her mind, he would deny her as well. He would try to kill her as well. So I think she just believes that she can't trust him. And I think that she believes she can't trust anyone. I think that's the problem with her relationship with everyone right now. She's just so completely consumed with what it is that she has to do. I think she's just forgotten about everyone else. And it's sad. She's not like that.
Colin actually mentioned the same thing in relation to Merlin, not being sure that Arthur was going to be accepting of magic.
Exactly.
So Merlin and Morgana maybe have more in common than they.
Well, this is it. The only reason that Merlin is any different is he's been told the prophecy. He's been told by the Great Dragon. He's been told that yes, in fact, this is all going to work out. Morgana doesn't know that. All Morgana knows is that these people will kill her if they find out who she is. And so, what is she going to do? She's going to protect herself. Again, had Merlin only told her. So really, it's all Merlin's fault.
I agree.
Thank you very much. He is the bad guy. I'm the hero. He's the bad guy. How many people has Merlin killed? Thank you very much. Think about it. How many people have I killed? There you go.
Speaking of that, will we see Morgana with a sword in her hand again?
God, I hope so.
I hope so too.
But in all fairness, she doesn't really need it anymore.
No, she
Let's just do
doesn't.
that. See how I did that?
We like that.
Amazing. Although the sword looked cool.
Seems like she has yet to really reveal some of her powers to some of her closest family members. Like she still hides behind her gowns. Is she ready to now step out and show and demonstrate to Uther and to Arthur, I am magical, I am power, I don't need my sister, this is me.
By season 4, absolutely, she is well known around the fact that she is extremely powerful sorceress. Extreme. I mean, fearful. People are fearful of her powers. She has really gotten to that level, which for me is like. Yes, although the reams of Old English that I now have to learn, I have ultimate respect for Colin. Although now he only ever gets 2 lines. I think it's a punishment. I get like spells that long. Paul gets little tiny ones. And I'm like, how's that fair? Because it's essentially learning gobbledygook. It means nothing.
Because you're a woman and you can handle it.
This is good. I don't think they think of it like that, though. I think this is funny.
Let's see if she can do this.
Yeah, let's just test her. Let's just annoy her. And I tell you what, let's put 7 spells on the same day, back to back. I'm just sitting there going,
But we know you can do it.
Yeah.
We know you do.
through the power of editing, I can do anything.
Talk a little bit working with Amelia Fox. Sounds really working.
Oh, she's unbelievable. Seriously, because I've worked with her before on a few other things, and I think a lot of the sort of great relationship between Morgana and Morgana comes from the fact that Amelia is so wonderful, and I'm very fond of her as a person, and she really does have this sort of proper sort of nobility to her. Just she's very still, she's very beautiful. She really does work as sort of a high priestess. You believe it that she is that powerful and also that wicked in a way, you know, which is great. And the more I get to work with her, the better. It's difficult because she does another TV show at the same time, so we get her to come in and do a little bit and run out. But she's a big fan of the show, so she makes a huge effort to come back and do it. And we're really lucky about that with a lot of the guest stars who signed on at the start, who didn't know what the show was, you know, have really made a commitment to do it each year. I mean, you look at Santiago Cabrera, who signed on in 1 year, and every year he's come back, and he's you know, taking off now, and he's doing so well, and he still sort of supports us.
I saw him yesterday.
Yes, he is quite easy on the eyes. Yeah. And he's quite a nice guy. It's kind of like a double, and you're like, that shouldn't be right.
You mentioned that Morgana's now able to, she's using her sorcery more. Now, is she doing that can you tell us a bit about how she's doing that? Is she doing that within her home? Is she going out and fighting people? How is she using that sorcery?
I mean, it's no longer a passive thing. It used to be very connected to her emotions, but now she's in control of it. So anywhere that she is, she's able to use it. So, I mean, Morgana isn't tied to one place. She goes on adventures. She goes out and about. She even gets into Camelot every so often. And anywhere that she is, she's allowed to use her magic because she's entirely in control of it now. It's no longer... I mean, she still has parts of the sort of it tied to her emotions, visions and things like that, but you know, she's not entirely in control of it. But it's nice to see her finally... She's finally become a woman in a way. She's in control of her magic, she's in control of herself, she's strong, she's confident. I mean, people ask me a lot if I'm at all like Morgana, and I am in fact nothing like her. But she's kind of the woman I'd like to be. She's very self-assured, she's very intelligent, she's very strong, and you finally see that in season 4, which is kind of gratifying to play.
Have you gotten to walk around a little bit, enjoy Comic-Con?
My brother's here. My brother came out. He came because it's his birthday, so I brought him out here for his birthday. And I want to go have a look with him so we can McGrath geek out. It's a family thing, so it's really quite sad. I think I can go to the first 3 Star Wars scripts.
So what would you dress up as for Comic-Con?
If I had the body, Princess Leia in the Grow bikini. Come on, it's like ultimate. Who else would you want to look like? Yeah, but it had to be her with the gun on the ship. Otherwise, there's no point. You know.
When you first signed on to Merlin, did you expect to be able to take Morgana to this point, or this far?
I hope. I mean, no, you sign on to this show and, you know, you talk to Angel, and Angel always says that she knew it was going to be a hit. But this was kind of the first job I ever got. I was just happy to get a job. And, you know, I turned up on my first day and I didn't know anything. I didn't even know, you know, the director was in, okay, Katie, so if you could just come in, hit your mark, find the light, and then walk to the window. And I was like, huh? What? I had to explain everything to me. So I was working on a day-to-day basis. I was just hoping they wouldn't fire me for the first month and a half. And so you don't really think that far ahead. And then as the year went on and they started telling me all the different countries that had bought it and things like that, you just can't I think it's better that you don't think about it, because if I did, I don't think you'd be able to handle it. So it's 8 months of the year just sort of sitting in a bubble, and it's nice like that. You know, you get to spend it with Colin and Bradley and Angel and Tony, and it's you get to sword fight and ride horses and basically be a big kid.
Play in a castle.
And play in a castle and be evil and badass at it and be goth Jessica Rabbit. And I have an action figure. End of. You know, my mum took my action figure and we've got a big wardrobe, and everybody who comes in has to be shown the action figure, but she has it right next to the Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean. And she's like, Kitty, I don't know what happens when I leave the room, but you know, they've both got smiles on their faces. But that's really cool.